Does diet affect Crohn's disease? Well, according to my many GI doctors, no, it doesn't. But then you look at YouTube and you've got testimonials, you've got videos of people claiming that the diet and lifestyle that they went on cured them of their Crohn's disease. So who's right? I decided to put it to a test. I had just had a major surgery a few months back. They removed a third of my colon. And unfortunately for me, it was the only healthy part that I had. The other 2/3 of my colon were infected with what they called severe ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. If you want to know the full story, I made another video. It's somewhere. We'll link it. But I was wondering, I needed to cure myself, but they didn't want to put me on any sort of medication just because they didn't know how the surgery would turn out. So I was 3 months post-surgery and I started a Crohn's flare. I was pooping 20 times a day, bloody diarrhea, it was awful, cramping, insomnia. I even got knee pain. It was random symptoms that I had never experienced before, the depression, the hair loss, all of the typical Crohn's symptoms. So I decided I'm going to try out these YouTube gurus and I'm going to put myself on a diet, a 30-day challenge. I found the GAPS diet. I decided to read this book. Very hard to read, by the way. You need like a medical degree, or maybe I'm just, not the most intelligent. But I read this book, and she claims that she can. Sorry about that brief interruption. 8:30 at night, and my parents brought over some bananas. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Back to GAPS. So I found this lady. It's the GAPS diet. She believed that she can cure autism from the gut connection to the brain, that if she put her patients on a very strict elimination diet, that she'd be able to heal them. And so since I was going to attempt a 30-day challenge, I thought I'm going to find me the strictest diet that I could. And so it led me to the GAPS diet. So for 30 days, I'm going to attempt to adhere strictly to this diet and just see if it could help my symptoms. Right now, or at the time that I started this, I was only 150 pounds. Like I said, I was 3 months out of surgery and I was not in a very good place. So I was pretty excited to see what the diet could do. All right, it's day 1 of the GAPS diet protocol. So 30 days of stomach cleansing food. The GAPS lady says to start your morning off with lukewarm. She's very specific. Don't drink cold water in the morning. Lukewarm water with minerals in it. So I've never done minerals before, but I'm going to do a tablespoon of these because that's what the instructions said to do. Doesn't look too appetizing. So I finished that off camera. I promise you I did. It looked like urine. It tasted like urine. You may be wondering, do I know what urine tastes like? Story time. So I actually do know what my own urine tastes like. Yeah. So I promise you, I have tried everything to cure my Crohn's disease. I've tried Rozone, which is when they stick a tube up your butt and blow some sort of air that's supposed to cure your ulcers. I've tried acupuncture, I've tried chiropractic, and I went to one homeopathic doctor who told me to take a little vial of this homeopathy and mix it with my own urine and then hold it in my mouth for 30 seconds. I had to do that for a week. So yes, I have tried my own urine. Anyway, I was still optimistic about this diet. It didn't include me drinking my own urine, so that was a plus. But I didn't see any main changes, or I didn't see any big changes the first few days. But in the diet's defense, the fastest I had ever gotten through a Crohn's flare before was about 3 months. So I wasn't expecting it to cure me in a few days. So the first few days, I didn't really see any big changes. It is day 3 on GAPS. I'm still cramping really bad every morning. My stomach just hurts. My diarrhea is green. I looked it up. It said because it's passing through me so quickly that it's bile coming out. So still bloody, still green, cramping really bad. But day 3 on GAPS diet, still optimistic. So the GAPS diet has a few main staples to it. One of the big ones is animal fat. Then you've got protein of some sort, ground beef, chicken, duck, whatever you get your hands on. And then a probiotic. So she has this mixed sauerkraut into every bowl of soup or a little bit of yogurt. And then another main one is bone broth. And so I learned how to make bone broth, and I mean, I always have a crock pot going now. And of course, during this 30-day challenge, I had a crock pot going pretty often. The good thing is, my daughter seems to love it too. Right here, and this is my chicken jello, as it's super chunky. And I mix that with some soup.
What is that?
And I'll try, it's bone broth.
Is that jello?
It's bone broth, baby.
Where's jello go?
It kind of resembles jello.
It's not blood broth anymore.
No, it's still bone broth. It just looks like jello. But I'll throw that in my soups or drink it in the morning and at night, and it's perfect. I'm on day 7 of the GAPS diet, and man, today was awesome. I have 0 cramps, 0 diarrhea. If anything, I'm like borderline constipated. I've only gone once today, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Normally I go first thing in the morning. Took me all day to go. But man, I almost took a picture of this stool because it was perfect. There was still blood on the toilet paper, but I mean, I'm used to filling the toilet bowl with blood. So it was awesome. It was smooth, looked like a snake, looked like everything I'd want a stool or bowel movement to look like. So that was good news. Hopefully I just continue to get better. By the end of the week, I was almost out of a flare, which blew my mind. I mean, I'm not kidding. I had gone on a year-long flare before where every few weeks I would see blood in my stool and I would experience cramping. And so to almost have conquered a flare within the first week was incredible. Honestly, it's what kept me going through the diet because it was getting pretty old eating soup every single day. In the book, she gives you some recipes, but let's be honest, they weren't that good. So I kind of found one soup that I really enjoyed and I stuck with that one. But I was super encouraged because I was feeling way better just after 7 days. All right, day 10 of the GAPS diet. Still doing all right. I am starving. There are no calories on this diet. So hungry all the time. I just want to eat. My appetite picked up, I guess, since I'm feeling a lot better. I'm back at work. My energy's up. I'm sleeping through the night. I don't have diarrhea. I barely have any blood in the toilet. I'm hoping the next few days will knock that out. I think my colon's still inflamed. I'm curious to see what the doctor says. But I'm feeling great. I'm just hungry all the time. So hungry. I can't keep up with making these soups because I am downing them. Can't wait to start introducing more food because I need it. It was after 10 days that my energy started coming back, and I even attempted a workout at the gym. Well, I started going regularly after that, and I felt really good, but I needed to increase my calories, and so I did. What I did was I got a bunch of bone marrow, and I would bake it in the oven. And then all the grease that would come out, or the fat that would render from the oven, I poured into a mason jar. I'd also scoop out the marrow from inside the bones, and then I'd put those in the mason jar and immersion blend the whole thing. I started putting 2 or 3 tablespoons of that into every bowl of soup that I ate, so it really jumped my calories up. In fact, I read in the book that she claims that the more animal fat you eat, the faster your patient will heal. And I think it was working, especially for me. In the first month of this diet, I stayed pretty much the same the first 10 days as far as weight goes. I was about 155 pounds, didn't gain any weight, but I was starving all the time. So after day 10, I started increasing the fat. I started eating a lot more too. I started going through like 2 pounds of ground beef a day. And then with the fat increase, I ended up gaining 20 pounds in 4 weeks, which is incredible. I mean, I'm 4 months post-surgery, and I weigh like 170 now. I'm feeling really good. My energy's up to where I'm working out regularly. I started saunaing at night as well. I would wake up early in the morning and pray and meditate. And so now I'm really buying into the lifestyle at this point. So like I said, my colonoscopy is coming up soon. So I'm going to film the whole thing, not the colonoscopy part, but I'll show the results and share the results. So hopefully this thing worked out. If not, then I'll be honest about that too. The diet could have flopped. Either way, like, subscribe. That way you don't miss it. This could be an alternative to medication. I'm not saying that for everyone, and I know everyone is unique and diets affect them differently. But either way, like, subscribe, follow along. That way you can know whether or not it worked. Really, I can sum up this whole month. It was pretty tough. Eating just soups, I'm not going to lie to you, was awful. But I got to the point in my mind where I don't care what I eat, I care how I live. And I had the energy to enjoy my family and to love on them. And so I don't really care what I eat as long as I can live my life to the fullest.